architecture and finance, and within the climate change program architecture. And this is just in one attempt. We need to work on it further, and we are in process of discussing more on this, and we will be trying to come out with some kind of a manual, and maybe we will have a greater consultation with the government departments and other stakeholders, so that some kind of a fixed, not fixed, but some kind of a customizable framework at city level, customizable framework at the village level, customizable framework at the block level or district level will be able to work out. I would also refer to the Wetland International. We did some work with Wetland International, that how do we integrate wetland based, nature based solution in the disaster management plan at the district level. So I think very good ideas are there from other partners also, and we'll try to take all the lessons and we'll try to integrate into this. So we'll certainly look forward to this, Nivedita ji.
Good evening to all the distinguished guests on and off as well as online. First of all, I thank Professor Gupta and his team for the invitation and congratulate for organizing such a event timely, and I see a lot of delegations with their enthusiasm, understanding the climate information and knowledge. So I'd like to share some of my thoughts and views in this climate information and knowledge forum. First, let us see the Indian landscape. So in the present climate change scenario, we have been experiencing different kinds of disasters of variable intensities into the Himalayan region related to landslides, avalanche, flash floods, gulf, forest fire, then glacial melting, or we can also have into mass loss into the Himalayan region, as well as loss of valuable fauna and flora. If we look into the plain interior part, we have been experiencing extreme heat wave, droughts and floods. And if we look into the coastal regions, we are having coastal erosions, then we have storms, cyclones, even in the hilly part we have landslides. So if we look into phenomena induced by the climate change, having variable intensity in different parts of the country depending on its landscape. And it has made a tremendous loss to the lives and livestock, damage to the properties and structures, that economic instability, as well as it has posed threat to the development, or we can say sustainable growth. Besides these geological related hazards induced by the climate change, under the influence we are also seeing that effect to almost all sectors, whether we talk about energy, talk about water, talk about health, talk about agricultural, food, ecosystem, or environmental degradation, everywhere. And the intensity of the impact is variable because different geographic locations have different population density, different landscapes. So we need to understand all this process in a comprehensive manner. So it has been talked. It can't be done by one institute. It can't be done by one individual centric process. So we need a holistic approach by which different institute, different capacity, human capacity are required. So in that context, our capacity building, not only for the institute level and human resource point of view, we need to have international collaboration so that we can understand what they have achieved to mitigate the climate change or climate induced effect, or in further what we can do into that directions. If we look into the Indian landscape, then we see in the southern part temperature is tropical. If we go to the north, it is temperate. if we go further north into the Himalaya alpine. If we look into the rainfall, that most of the part receives rainfall, except the top Himalayan part where we are getting excessive snow precipitations. So they are all leading to some sort of impact to our life. If we look into the resources available in our country, whether we talk about energy, minerals, water, those resources can be utilized in an effective manner based on scientific assessment, so that a balance between economy and ecology can be established, and we will be able to develop the sustainable goal, sustainable development. So really, if we want to achieve all these, to summarize the 5-pronged strategy we should follow. First strategy should be that we should adapt a standardized risk assessment and strict implementation of the region-specific guidelines to reduce the disaster. That will be the first strategy we should follow. Second strategy, the disasters what we are talking about, this, whether it is an earthquake, whether it is a landslide, whether it is a flash floods, they do not cause any harm. It is the structure. So we should have the disaster resilient structure by utilizing the modern technology, hard engineering, or some sort of innovative design, along with our nature-based solution or local knowledge. If we can couple the modern technology and ancient knowledge, that will help us to build the disaster resilient infrastructure. This is the second strategy we have to follow. Third important strategy we have to follow, that in a region already we have done what are the most probable zone for hazards, whether it is related to the landslides, related to the GLOF, related to flash floods, or related to any other things. So in that hazard prone area, we have to place web-based sensors by which we will be continuously monitored, and at the end we will be able to alert that early warning so that the disasters can be reduced. So this, after these 3 important steps, we should go to the next step, which is very, very important. Ultimately, we are talking about the climate change or global warming, but what are the root causes of the global warming and climate change? It is the utilization of the fossil fuels. And you know that energy is the prime driver for any country's economic growth, socio-economic growth. So we need energy. But is there any alternate to fossil fuels? We have to look into that aspects if we can make and progress into the green energy or renewable energy resources. So for that, we have to desperately work into that domain. So the next 4th important issue will be, is it possible to hybridize or develop a hybrid technique by which 1 or 2 or more energy resources can be coupled, and we'll be able to make synergy, 1 + 1 = 11. And if we can do that, and that it can make the greener energy and the renewable energy, greener energy and cleaner energy, which is one of the agenda, one of the goal of the sustainable development goal of the United Nations. So we have to look into how we can build a hybrid technology by which the greener energy and cleaner energy can be established, so that we can reduce or we can fight against the climate change. The 5th important point is very, very crucial into this 5-pronged strategy, is that we have to make all these processes, whatever I told, but at the end, if we experience some sort of disasters, are we really ready to mitigate, to rehabilitate, so the readiness or promptness, or for that, we have to build a disaster response force. We have to involve the community, or we have to engage them, the community. We have to propagate the knowledge of climate science. If something happens, what should be the role? Because this climate science and its impact is so complex, it can't be taken care by one group. Even the local people, administrators, scientific fraternity, researcher, policy maker, politicians, all have to play their role. And if all comes, that's what we often say, that this type of problem, if we want to address, it can't be done in silo. It has to be done in collaboration with many agencies, many people, even stakeholders. They also have to take part into that domains. So with this, in that context, since I was leading one of the important program of DST, and in that DST, they have implemented two important issues of the National Action Plan with regard to the climate change. One was that NMSHE, other one is the NMSKCC. So under these two programs, the main objective was to understand the vulnerability of the Himalayan region and monitor the health of the Himalayan ecosystem. And second objective was to understand some of the impact of the climate change and science and technology, climate science, technology, innovation interface, and the mediation by which the DST established a number of center of excellence. They executed number of major R&D programs, and then state level and at different center level, they establish climate change cells, so that they can understand the different site-specific and sector-wise processes, so that in agricultural field, what exactly happening, in health science, what exactly happening. So all this impact, if we can understand in a comprehensive manner by the site-specific and sector-oriented, that's what the DST given importance. And in that context, there are a lot of progress, a lot of advantage has taken place. Few examples I'd like to place before you. Under this program, there have been a development of the tool by which the urban flood monitoring and forecasting has been developed. The tool has been developed, and there are a lot of progress on the urban climate as well as extreme events understanding also has been placed into the report, as well as Gupta ji is also over here. His address source is a portal in which immediately you can access to the sustainability data. If it is a policymaker, a researcher, they want to get the data, immediately they can get access. So these are all very, very important and useful aspects what has been done under this program of DST, that's CEST of the DST. They are particularly monitoring and executing, and we have a committee by which we are steering the DST, that what are the steps to be taken. So as a whole, if we can implement all these things, and we can translate these informations, the knowledge whatever we have gained into some action plan, then definitely the address of resilience and sustainability will be developed. And if we look into that, how people's livelihood can be enhanced, how people security for their occupation will be enhanced, how structure can be protected, how resilient building or structures can be made, all these things if we can make from this knowledge of climate sense knowledge and information, then definitely that will lead to the resilience and sustainable. What is the goal? What is the purpose? So this is in a nutshell. I thought we'll summarize what exactly happened since morning till now. Thank you very much for your patient listening, and I wish all success to all the researchers and the scientists and young particular faculty. They can take up. This is a very, very challenging issue, important issue, and for the nation growth, if we can contribute, we can feel very proud. And this is the moment has come. And again, congratulate Professor Gupta for taking up this particular workshop, this particular seminar, this particular forum, and inviting people from different sectors and sharing their experiences in different domains. That will definitely help us to achieve the goal of Viksit Bharat at 2047. Thank you very much.
While we are waiting for other delegates to join, because some sessions are about to end, we are starting this way forward session, because followed by this is also a packed schedule. This session is very important in a way that in the morning we presented a diversity. In the inaugural session we discussed a diversity of the issues pertaining to climate risk and also the climate resilience. And today, under the Climate Knowledge Forum, there were 17 thematic sessions and 4 Parisamvad. So in total 21 sessions took place. This is the 21st session we are having here. So in one day, how much knowledge, how many case studies, how many issues have been discussed? We will be having the report little later, but we have some idea. However, as we move to this evening, this is an occasion that we try to look at the ways and opportunities of integration. The ways and opportunities of integration into the critical thematic points, that if we are able to identify 4 or 5 key thematic points where we integrate all the knowledge that has flown in the entire day, and that will be helpful for the entire team which is working on RESSummit to bring the summary of the entire deliberation under the Climate Knowledge Forum under the 21 sessions and divide into these sections. So, what key aspects they may be, whether we should go sector wise, whether we should go region wise, or what may be the different strategies we can work on, particularly looking to the geography of India. Like Ministry of Environment also had a 4x4 report maybe a decade back. And then when we are developing national adaptation plan, then we are having the sectoral approach. So there are different ways to look at it. Then within climate change, we are also looking at the mitigation, adaptation, resilience and recovery, the phase-wise approach also. So there are different approaches, and many times this dilemma emerges not only in climate change, in the domain of disaster management also, that what can be the approach. So this discourse of around 50 minutes would be focusing on this. So we have the experts from wide range of experience, practice and academic excellence also. So I would be requesting all of you to please welcome all the guests on the dais with a big round of applause. Now I would request Ms. Pritha to take the proceedings forward, and we will be looking forward to their key insights on summarizing that what can be the ways, what can be the issues, what do we bring the case studies, do we bring the examples. That will be really helpful for all of us, and we will wind up this session maybe in around 50 minutes time. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting the context and highlighting the importance of translating today's discussion into actionable pathways. We also have a very esteemed speaker with us. She will be joining online, Professor Nidhi Nagabhatla. So once she joins, we can have her deliberations then. So we start with Professor Saket Kushwaha, sir. He is the Professor, Vice Chancellor of University of Ladakh. Under his leadership, the University of Ladakh has been strengthening research and higher education in the Himalayan region and promoting interdisciplinary research on regional and environmental challenges. May I request Professor Kushwaha to kindly share his remarks, sir.
Namaskar. My greetings to all of you, the honorable panel here. My sincere greetings to them also. First of all, I was busy in one of the meeting for last 2 hours. But all the same, let me tell you my feeling about this particular activity which we are doing now. Kudos to Professor Anil ji for having this such kind of event. Well, I'm from agriculture background, and when I was working with Gunter Pauli, my experience, let me first share my experience, then I will come back to this forum as well. And then during that time, way back in 1992 and 2006, on zero emission, that means zero emission research initiative given by Gunter Pauli, and leading towards the, making the policies for Africa, particularly Nigeria. Then I realized that while we are working on subject as well as on the aspect of disaster management, then they are basically contradicting the very focus of mankind. this is, this was our one of the important finding. How? Let me explain to you that while we are trying to have like a win-win situation, we were using SenMOP, multi-objective, linear programming model. Then we realized that when you try to achieve the optimization goal, then you compromise the disaster management strategies. So with that realization, we tried to develop a model, agriculture production model, where nothing was optimized. All the small objectives were compromised to have min-max theory or max-min theory. That means when you try to optimize the employment, then of course the total income has to be compromised. Employment increasing, then total income, you have to spend the money and total income is going to decrease. You are going to optimize the usages of chemical fertilizer, then of course you are going to have higher income, but then health will be compromised somehow. So I believe that with this kind of forum we are having, I mean, in today and coming 2 days, we are going to bring our thought process at one level. This is what we did at that time also. So because this field is very vast field, and we have various kind of variable verticals are there. So I feel that whenever we are doing such kind of activities in a quorum of this stature, we are bringing our thought process at one level, then we will be able to achieve the common goal of mankind. And for me, a common goal of mankind is driven by one movie, Giorgino, the kind of thing, is an old movie. So I feel that when we develop these strategies, we discuss these strategies, we come to a common forum, we will be able to channelize the energy and resources in one direction so that we can obtain the common goal. This is my personal feeling. And Dr. Gupta, I think during last meeting in Ladakh, the role of institution has to be defined. I mean, see, we have multi-level kind of structure in the university system, in the state level, in UT also. But then the goals are not common. We always discuss. This morning, Dr. Subrat was talking one thing, then he stopped at one place because he was unable to speak the full truth. And I think his professor will not allow him to tell him the bare truth. But I feel that there's a need for us to do little churning inside in our ministry, in our institution. The goal has to be redefined. And then focus has to be one only. That means being Africa as a developing country, we are observing one day in a month where, and that working day, everyone, there's no movement, it is like curfew, no movement on road. Everyone has to participate in cleaning exercise. Everyone, if it is a university, because I was also working with Abu Bakr Tafawa Balewa University Bauchi as well, because World Bank gave us an assignment to do there. So everyone has to work for the environment, and no movement, no smoking as well. So, but it was a lesson for me also, that how we can bring the society under one umbrella, under one platform, and then we can achieve the goal. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Making me a part of this very important subject of great importance in the current scenario, and sharing my views. So I'll begin my thing from the context which Professor Saket has just set up. Coincidentally, I happen to currently also, I'm going to hold very important thing for the nation, that is to conduct census operations with a difference this time, Census 2027 as we call it, in both the UTs of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, where Professor Saket is currently leading the research work, great work in the University of Ladakh, because again it's a coincidence, like one posting before this, I was in a very challenging place, that is Mizoram, and I was also handling few critical operations there, like I was secretary for cooperation, secretary for information communications technology, and again additional charge of census also there. But before that I was in Ladakh. So his predecessor was very much in touch with me, Mr. Professor Mehta and his team, and we have done a lot of work together. And let me share from the platform for a lot of research projects and all. I myself went to IIT Bombay that time and got a lot of funds approved. Professor Subratji knows it. So we have done a lot of good work together. So, Ladakh is a place actually, when we are talking about, resilience and sustainability. So Ladakh comes to my mind first, because our Honorable Prime Minister's vision is very, very clear. So far as the Union Territory of Ladakh is concerned, he has a great vision of making Ladakh as first carbon neutral state or UT in the nation. And to contribute towards those goals, I think we must start from the top. And in that context, we took few little initiatives which I can share with him, because my stint in Ladakh had a varied variety. I was secretary for science and technology, I was secretary for transport, I was secretary rural development, then IT and disaster management. So Sonam knows, he is one of our key man, the weatherman of erstwhile J&K and now Ladakh. He's doing fantastic work, and lucky to meet all of you again here on a different forum. So what we did, like apart from all other, we have done a lot of mock exercises. He knows earthquake, NDMA, we did a lot of activity, like even night mock exercise we did once for earthquake. Daytime before that year we did. But apart from those exercises, one important thing which we could lead Ladakh with was, in transport we introduced carbon neutral initiative, 5 hydrogen fuel cell buses. I want to share that initiative with the August gathering here. So with the help of NTPC as Transport Secretary, that was my lead mission, actually, to make it successful. And I think they must have seen the light of the day by the time I left. They must be on the, because I was MD SIDCO also in Ladakh, Sindhu Infrastructure Development Corporation. So we introduced them through our, Road Transport Corporation, which was part of it. And 5 hydrogen fuel cell buses, in which the emission, if we all can know and guess, is what? Water vapor. So 100% carbon neutral initiative. And the backup in that hybrid vehicle was EV, electric. In case it fails to climb up the hills in Leh or Kargil or wherever they are operating, this was the backup mechanism. So it was 100% carbon neutral initiative, those hydrogen fuel cell buses, and that too at 12,000 feet above sea level. I think that took a great asking and a challenge for NTPC to introduce them. And also I want to share, like in the streak of same initiatives, we also brought about, EV freight vehicles for transportation of goods and services within Leh township. So that was also experimented and successfully concluded by different organizations, and we supported it. So what I mean to say, and then yes, University of Ladakh was a great proponent. They were supporting a lot of our initiatives, and we organized holistic workshops, national, even international level workshops, in which we concluded and decided so many things. And Ladakh was always a place of attraction for everybody to come and contribute. Similarly, there were certain projects going by ONGC in Puga. And then you remember, I believe you guys know, the water was coming up, the hot springs were coming up in one part of the, then we organized a few GLOF related workshops in support with NDMA, and National Disaster Management supported us like anything. So what I mean to say, that one important aspect we all must realize, with my experience in extreme ends of the nation, one was up in Ladakh, one was in Northeast, Mizoram, which is, I was so happy to see today. I attended one session today, which was all about Assam, Northeast, and they were all talking about how this climate resilient activities are happening in the rivers there, Meghna and such projects which are going very successfully out there. So a lot of R&D is going in that part of the country as well, which is equally important to us. So going by different kinds of flora and fauna and different kinds of necessities in different parts of the nations, we require different types of strategies. You know, one shoe fits all theory doesn't work here. For up north, you require different kinds of sustainability strategies and resilience strategies. Down south, there are different kinds of flora, fauna, and they require different kinds of things. Like I was recently in Kochi for a urban transport summit. They all have been following. So there I saw the mangroves are doing wonderful work. This concept is doing very unique, and that part of the country actually feels proud of how they are coping up with the natural things and challenges out there. Similarly, Northeast has a different kind of flora, fauna, lot of rains, lot of waters flowing, and how the conservation, preservation, and how the water is purified there and utilized for different purposes. And there also we are coming up down below Mizoram just to share, like water is being used for the waterways, like transportation of goods and services. That too, we are looking at some sustainable solutions in which there is not much pressure on the ecological balance. So these things, once you travel across the places, India is a nation with varied kind of, forest covers and different kinds of challenges. Like Ladakh has a lot of barren mountains, cold desert. Their challenges are altogether different. What they are in Northeast, what they are in whichever department, whichever areas we are sitting, I can assure you, Dr. Gupta, it will go a long way in shaping up the nation's climatic, meeting those goals also. Thank you.